Hi artisans, I hope you're having a fabulous day and are ready to be inspired. Don't forget as well, with the How to Craft Network, don't forget to subscribe. If you subscribe, what will happen is you will get it straight onto your newsfeed on YouTube. And of course, you will also get emails to tell you when brand new videos are available for you to watch. My name's Carley Duff. I'm here today to share with you the most exquisite stamp range you will find. It's called Amala, so it's ink makes art like art. Basically, we've done all the hard work, so what you do is get to play and have all the fun with all the different techniques and sort of styles that I will show you. So the stamp that I'm going to be highlighting today is the beautiful Cityscape. Now this is a key favourite of mine. It's from chapter 14, so this is one of our latest stamps that are available. It's gorgeous. It's the Brooklyn Bridge, which is absolutely perfect in New York. So it's fabulous to create men's cards, scene cards. You can also mix in some of them fabulous pre-stamps as well from Amala from other collections. So first off, I'm going to create my background, and I've done that very, very easily using the Urban Elements, which is another of the Amala stamps. All of these stamps are available on the Stamps by Me website, so just pop along there and fill your boots. So once I've done this, and I've done this in many different colours, I've used Salty Ocean, a little bit of Peacock Feather, pickled raspberry, which I know is picked raspberry, but it's always pickled to me, and just laid my colour down. Now I'm going to come back and do extra ink work on top of that, but for now I've cut 3 different size panels. This is how you can start creating something really unique. These are 3 different completely different size panels, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a tiny little bit of double-sided tape on the back, and then just take off that stickiness, because more than anything I'm going to use it like a mask. So I'm just going to layer these up, and you can see that they're all very, very different sizes, and I'm going to create almost like a panel, and you can see that just like so. These I will be using, again, layering them up. I'm going to stamp over all of those layers. And what this does is it just gives your card such beautiful movement. Now, the Amala stamps are seriously detailed and, of course, fabulous size. Keep them clean, they will last you for life. They really, really will. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got my positioning right. Here we go. I'm just turn that round slightly. Perfect. And I'm going to lay that stamp clean over the top of all of those layers. I'm going to use my magnets. Now I'm going to be using 2 at the moment just to keep everything in the exact position that I want. So now I'm going to pick up that beautiful Cityscape, and believe me, it's an absolute dream of a stamp to use. I'm going to be using VersaFine, but you can use whatever all-purpose ink you prefer. Now, once you have stamps, I do prefer to heat set it straight away. This means when I add my ink and add my water, I'm not going to have any seepage whatsoever. If you're brand new to watercolouring, I do definitely say emboss with it first, because then it gives you the channels of your colour and you won't get any spillage. Now, this can be quite a dark stamp, which is brilliant because then it gives you real sort of silhouette effects. So I always say put a little bit more ink on than what you think you may need. I'm just going to go over a little bit of fingertip dancing over the top. If you do struggle with your hands, just simply use a brayer over the top as well. That makes it nice and easy. And we shall see how we are. So you can see there, I've still got a little bit more to do. So I'm just going to rearrange, add a little bit more ink, add a tiny tad more pressure. Now this is the beauty of it. I love layer stamping because when you just break it down, it looks so imaginative, so flamboyant and different. So here we go. I'm just going to pick this up now. Beautiful. So now when I take this away, I'm going to take away all of those layers, and I will reposition them back in just a second. But now I'm going to be using the top of my Eureka as my colour board. So super, super simple. I'm going to grab some sprays. here they are. I've got just some water spray, and also I've mixed in a tiny tad of watercolour paint just with water. It just is so easy to create the most beautiful effects. So I'm just spraying over the top. Obviously this is oxide that I've got on here. And then I'm just going to heat set that. Now, if you do get pools of colour, you can either push it or you can just circle above it to make it absorb and dry down. But I just love the different effects you can get with this. This is an 8x8 card, and I just find that it's just really a really nice sort of platform to work on, this size. So as you can see, I'm just heating through all them different colours, and see how fabulous using that urban elements that creates texture as we go along as well. I'm just going to rotate that round slightly, push it away. Beautiful. And these are my favourite colour tones that I'm working with. I've got the greens in there, the blues and a bit of pink. So it just flows fabulous. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my blending brush and I'm going to go in with a little bit of Kitsch Flamingo. So I'm just going to pick this up on my long-haired brush, pick that colour up, and then I'm just going to work around the edge. Nice and simple. You can leave it quite stark white if you prefer, but you don't have to. I think I'll just grab a little bit of picked raspberry as well. Oh, I actually called it the right name. That never happens. Let's go back to pickled raspberry. So I'm just going to carry on filling in some of this beautiful colour. And you can be as heavy or as light as you like. If you've never colour blended before, I suggest you go lighter because you can always add more colour. But if you're like me, you just love the vibrancy, just get it on. How fab. So I'm just going to pop that to a side and we're going to come back to them individual pieces of the stamps. So here we are. It's like it's deconstructed almost. So I'm going to pick up, I'm just going to dry these off quickly to make sure before I put any colour on top. Beautiful. So again, I'm going to pick up that pickled raspberry, quite sporadic. Go around the edge, pop that one to the side. Next one. And this is where you can get really intense, beautiful, vibrant colours. And the beauty of using the Eureka this way is you can very easily pick up the ink that is your waste and use it on your cardstock. So I'm just going to pop them away and I'm going to grab a little bit of peacock feather and a little bit of the salvage patina. So nice and light to begin with. And it's almost like quite dreamlike. It's just got that beautiful, soft textures. I mean, I think as well, this stamp is fabulous, absolutely fabulous for sunsets. So if you want to try doing work on your sunsets, this is a really good one because you've got that almost like that silhouette and it just sings. It really does. So you can see specifically where the stamp and where your sort of layers are that you're going to add on top. So nice and easy. So I'm just going to pop them away and then I'm just going to grab my fan brush, give myself just a little tad of water, dry that off. Now this isn't watercolour card that I'm using either on this top layer, this is actually stamping card. So what you tend to get, because it's not watercolour, the drops that go on it, they tend to become a little bit fibrous, which is lovely because then it just creates so much more texture. So we're just going to give that a little heat set. Fabulous. So now I'm going to mat these. Now, as I was saying before, this ink that we have on the top here, the best way to deal with this is to grab your water, because you don't just want to wipe it off, because that will become a waste. So now I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap card and I'm going to lift that ink up. Can you see? So lift it up, pick that ink up. The final point will be wiping it, but you can see how you can create fabulous backgrounds just from your waste. So never ever just wipe this off. Also, when your brush is still dirty, go onto your cardstock and clean your brush on the cardstock. What this does as well is you get seamless backgrounds, which is fabulous, all ready to go. So I'm just going to wipe my Eureka now. Tidy, tidy. And what I've got here are some mats that I've created just with grey cardstock. And I'm very, very simply going to mat all of these individual panels onto the grey. Now, black is a beautiful colour and it really does make your art pop, but grey is just a different level completely. With grey, what it does is it's a little bit of every colour that is on the spectrum. So what that means is it will just highlight and pick up on that colour. Also, it's kind of classy, I think. You know, so it just gives you that difference. You can add colour with grey really, really simply and it will just make it shine. So now I'm just matte and layering very, very easily my 3 panels. Coming back to my cardstock, I'm just going to grab my black ink and I'm very simply wiping it along the edges. You can see there. This saves one, putting a mat behind it, but also it just frames it beautifully. Try not to squish, just wipe along, because if you squish, you're going to get sort of bubbles of ink, but if you just wipe, it just frames beautifully. So now I'm just going to add some foam pads onto here and we can start layering this iconic stamp. So I'm going to do the bottom layer. Obviously, where I stamped over the layers onto the edge, that keeps you in the right position as well. Because now I know exactly, look at me whispering like it's a secret. So now I know exactly where these panels go, which is brilliant because that just takes all the hard work out of it. So there's my first layer. Coming on to the second. And you can use much more foam pads if you prefer, or you can use the full size ones. They work just as well. Just going to lift that slightly. There we go. No, that's wonky. Try again. There we go. That's better. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes you don't see that you've placed it slightly wrong. So now I'm just going to come back to that layer. You can see exactly where you've been with the other layers as well, so everything just links so perfectly together. I'm going to come down here now, and of course we're going to add that final layer in, just to pull it all together. And there we go. See how you can really sort of move it about, change your imagery, really, really simple. So I'm going to pop that up for you to have a look at, very, very simply. And it's just really unique. Get your colours involved. It's absolutely fabulous to do. And it's a beautiful concept of a card. It's achievable. Now think about all the different IMALA stamps that you can do that with. It's brilliant, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel inspired. Come back soon for more IMALA. Take care.